Let them play. That's the demand. You know, people I know that have kids that wrestle. Yeah, they're wrestling in Indiana. Just like Tori said, they're not here. You know, Indiana, go sit down, have dinner, enjoy yourself. Let your kids play sports. It's been that way in Florida for a very long time. Michigan remains economically crippled and damaged. Our kids, the emotional fallout from what we have done to our kids, yet to be seen, from depression, dropping out of school altogether, leaving college. It's unconscionable, really, at this point. Lana Theis here. She represents the 22nd Senate District in Michigan. State Senator Lana Theis. Thank you for being here, Lana.
Thank you so much, Steve, and thank you for addressing this issue. My heart is breaking for our students right now.
Oh, it's horrible. There is no excuse at this point. If we want kids back in school, here's what you can do. Of course, you'll have to negotiate, but this should have been underway long ago. Put the teachers at the front of the line. If you want vaccinations to be mandatory, then do it that way. Make sure the teachers are vaccinated and get the kids back in school. There's step one. Step two, unlock the state so the economy can get rolling. And now that we know what happened in the state of New York, Lana, I demand that the governor and the attorney general give us the numbers of the actual numbers of who died in nursing homes, assisted care facilities, those that were taken out of there and sent to hospitals that later died. I want the real numbers. They've been hiding those numbers for a long time. We need to see them. Start anywhere you want.
We've actually been asking for those numbers since last March, so I'm 100% with you. But today I want to talk about Senate Resolution number 7, which came before the Education Committee yesterday morning. And it speaks to, it's asking the governor, please open this up, stop the suspension on our high school sports, stop the suspension on our youth sports. They are the least at risk from all of this. We're not saying COVID isn't a problem. It absolutely is. But the very serious harm that is happening to our children as a result of these athletic shutdowns is astronomical. And the families who have the money, like you said, they're putting their kids in club sports, they're putting their kids in travel teams, and they're going outside of the state, and they're playing anyway. But the ones who don't have the money, the kids who are in the single-parent households who logistically can't make it work, they're the most harmed. And then go even further than that. If your kid is on the spectrum, or if they have ADHD, playing sports is what helps them to operate at their highest peak level. And we are prohibiting them from doing that and harming the poorest among us the most.
That's right. And Lana, I agree with you, by the way. ADHD made me what I am today. Praise God for that. It works for some people better than others, but I'm living in testament that it works great if you have the right people to work with, and that's fact. Here's the other thing. People at the lower income levels have the least ability to be on school virtually. If you come from a poorer household or a poorer community, the chance of you being online and spending your time doing your studies drops exponentially. The number of people that drop out of high school or never return to college because the schools were closed down, we won't know for a while, but it's going to be a devastating number. The number of kids that drop out permanently because they did not have an interest in sitting locked in their room staring at a computer screen for 6 hours a day. We need to stop this nonsense. We need to get our act together. Yes or no?
These sports are their very reason for living for many of these kids. They're the reason for keeping their grades high. Last spring, when we shut the schools down, when the governor shut the schools down and just moved the kids on, those kids not only lost their last year for playing sports, those seniors did, but they lost their opportunity for a scholarship. These were their college plans. That was how they were going to pay for their college. That opportunity went away. And now fast forward to this year where I had one athletic director tell me that the goalposts had been moved on those kids 6 times. They keep promising, okay, we're going to open up, and then nope, only these can open up, but not the rest of these. And then we mask them all while we're at it. These kids are suffering, and we need to allow them to play.
Yeah, I'll say, Senator, that the goalposts weren't moved, they were sawed down. Because they had no idea, because there were no guidelines. And here's the thing that I found most infuriating. When it came time for the kids to go back, and I have a high school student, and I have an elementary school student. My elementary school student goes to a private school. They had contact. They were ready to go. They've been in person since August. No problems, no issues, no illness. Perfect. The high school kid that I have, no plans, no information, no feedback. As our governor was pontificating and blathering on about no plan from Washington, she had no plan for the schools in Michigan. She had no plans for the rollout of the vaccine. She had no plans to how to protect seniors in this state. stop talking about what you're so good at and blaming others. Get something done. Handle it.
Actually,
what they're not short of.
Ask the coaches. Ask
That's
the coaches.
right.
Ask the athletes, because they're already operating at a much better level than all of the other people that are being dictated to for how they're supposed to behave. Because their tests, the 30,000 tests that were done over the last 3 months for our athletes, 99.8% negative rate. So they're doing it. They're already actively safe in this space. We need to get them back to playing sports.
Here's what I agree with you 100%. Governor Whitmer has told us that the state is short on tests, short on vaccines, short on PPE, short on money. Well, Governor Gretchen Whitmer has never been short on from the beginning of this pandemic, and I can guarantee you there's one thing that Governor Whitmer has never been short on from the beginning of the pandemic, Tori, and that is excuses. She's had plenty of those. She has had a bumper crop of excuses. I'll give you the last word.
Well, there's a group right now called Let Them Play on Facebook. It's got nearly 40,000 members on it, and that's just the tip of the iceberg for the people who are being affected by these shutdowns. And I agree with you. It goes entirely across the spectrum and in every area we can look at, whether it's restaurants or whether it's sports. But right now, what I want to focus on are the sports. There's a call it a rally, call it a protest, Saturday morning at the Capitol to help let the governor understand the effects for the families, for the students, for the children that are the most harmed by this. And we need to make it obvious to her that even the people that voted for her are desperately need this opportunity, and this is what's best for
What time on Saturday? State Senator, what time?
I think it starts at 9, but you know what? I'll get back to you really quick so that you can push that out on your show.
We'll have it. State Senator Lana Theis, thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.